So hopefully you're signed up already by now, but if not, want to give you a reminder that starting on February 15th, running through the 18th, we're going to be hosting our Emergence 2021 workshop. This is an online masterclass for retail traders and independent investors of all different skill levels. So make sure you sign up, secure your spot. Just head over to www.tier1trading.com. You'll see a banner at the top, or look in the show notes of this podcast. So here's the question. Should we increase our position size on certain trading opportunities? And if so, which trading opportunities should we do them on? Let's discuss. If part of strategy you have a risk reward of 4-1 versus 1-1, does that have any bearing on position size? Expect the answer to be no, but one check, yeah, no. Position size does not vary. Here's the thing. So the position size should always be related to risk. So whether it's 4-1 or 1-1, right? The risk is the same. Does that make sense? The only difference in a 4-1 to 1-1 is how much you're looking to benefit based off the risk. So if you're risking 2% per trade, right? That one is always steady. That the one is your risk. That one is your risk, right? That's your 2% that you're risking per that trade. The 4 just means that, man, your targets are 4 times that amount. So you stand to benefit 4 times the amount of what you're risking. But the risk is always going to be the same. So you don't want to, just because you have a 4-1, if I were to increase my position size because I have a 4-1, all that really does is increase my risk, right? Because a 4-1, does that give me any type of idea that the trade is more likely to win? It doesn't, right? So there's no reason to risk more. Now, if you want to adjust position sizes, my advice would be to do this. You adjust position sizes based on the value of your trades. We talked about this in CTS training, right? So the CTS combined technical scoring system. Let me just write down. We're having a conversation on news and risk management. News and risk management. The CTS system, combined technical scoring system, is a scoring system where you quantify your trade, right? You give it a specific score value, and ideally, the higher the score you have, the better the trade. So you can do this with CTS. You can do it without CTS. It's like if you have your good setup, and I'll talk about that in a little bit. But the CTS scale, the traditional, the default one before you make your adjustments, runs on a scale from basically 1 to 13, right? 13 is the most you can get, 1 is the minimum, right? So typically people will break it, or what you can do is you can break up into levels. You can say that, hey, anything under 4, I don't take, right? So 4 is my minimum. That is my floor, right? Anything under 4 is no trade. You can say, hey, from 5 to 7, right? We consider that a tradable opportunity. I trade a half position size, right? It's a trading opportunity, but it's not the best. Great pin bar here on pound yen, 15-minute, by the way. It's a trading opportunity, but it's not the best. Let's go from 7 to 10. Now that's a good trading opportunity. That's one where, that's the one I want to take. That's a full position size, and maybe 10 to 13 is a double your position size, for example, right? Does that make sense? You're adjusting your position size based on the value of the trade. You can do the same thing if we take another example. Let's say let's say Raymond is an advanced pattern trader, and these are just examples, guys. Don't just go and implement this, obviously, but Raymond is an advanced pattern trader, and let's say he trades bats, Gartleys, and ciphers. So he looks at his stats and he says that, hey, Gartleys are 55 or 60% correct for him. Cipher or bats are 50% correct. ciphers are 70% correct, right? Just throwing numbers out there, right? Raymond could make a rule that says, hey, I trade normal position sizes on bats and Gartleys, but on ciphers, because they are quote unquote my best trading opportunities, right? They have the highest percentage of winning. I trade double my position size. So instead of a 1% risk, maybe a 2% risk, right? He's adjusting his position size based on how he values the trade, right? Mike Bellafiore says this a lot in his, in general, he says, find your best trade. So if you can identify what your best trade is, right? It's okay to risk more on your best trade, because your best trade, you're risking more essentially when you're in a position when you're in a higher percentage position to win, right? So think about it like this. Think about, we can go to kind of sports betting for an example, right? Let's say we have a match between Liverpool and Man City, right? Would you guys say that's kind of it could be a toss up? Maybe this year's a little bit different, but in general, that's a toss up. You wouldn't. Let's say you want to bet on Man City, you probably wouldn't bet a crazy amount that they're going to win, right? But maybe you feel comfortable betting against them. Now, let's say it's Man City versus Newcastle, right? I think we'd all agree that Man City has a much better chance of winning versus Newcastle than it does Liverpool, right? So on that Manchester-Newcastle bet, right? That's when you bet a little bit more, because you feel as if you're in a better position to win. It doesn't mean you're going to win, but historical percentages and all the information that you have tell you that they have a much higher percentage of winning versus not winning, right? And just look at how spreads work in any type of betting, right? Look at how spreads and the odds work, right? So you can do something like that with your with your trading. Is Man City going to win? I got a sneaky feeling they're going to win. So, all right, let's move on to our next pair. Again, good pin bar. Come on, why you gotta throw the Cowboys in there? I was trying to sneak out of this conversation before anyone mentioned the Dallas Cowboys or whatnot. Yeah, why you gotta throw them in there? I always bet big on the Cowboys because I'm emotional. I throw everything else out the window. All common sense goes out the window. I bet with my heart, and I lose with my wallet. And I never learn, because I come back the next week and I do the same thing. Why? Because I'm a real fan. I'm a real fan, and real fans are blindly emotional, right? It's a toxic relationship I'm in, guys. Toxic relationship. I keep coming back for more. Thank you, Raymond. Gosh, I should have just snuck out after talking about CTS. Had to do the sports reference. Had to go there.